And here's Doug in Philly. Doug, good afternoon. How are you today? What's going on?
Good. How are you, Chris?
Fine, Doug.
Caller.
Thank you. What's going on today? What do you have for me?
Not much. I guess I missed earlier. I got in late to your show. But has anybody brought up the fact that, I mean, if you were my neighbor and I let you borrow my house and you trash my house, you think I'm going to let you borrow my house again?
Yeah, we brought that up. Now, remember, Tiger was very close to Mark O'Mara, and that was Peg Lewis was the lady who was involved here is Mark O'Mara's friend. That may have had a little something to do with it. Remember, Mark O'Mara rented the house, and Tiger stayed in the house with Mark O'Mara. And if Mark O'Mara didn't make the cut, he was out of there on the weekend. And then Tiger had it for the rest of the weekend because he always did make the cut. Remember about now killing Lewis about renting the house to the same guy. It was also Mark O'Mara who had that house too. And O'Mara lots of times left the house and left it to Tiger. So there you go. Go ahead. Next.
Yeah, the other thing I wanted to bring up, I wanted to change topics, was the Redskins and the letting go of Kirk Cousins and bringing in Alex Smith, and what your thoughts on as to why they had to go that route, why they couldn't sign Cousins, and was this a Allen issue, or was this a coaching issue, or just a Snyder issue?
Well, Doug, I think I think the Redskins hierarchy, and that's a good call. I think the Redskins hierarchy just does not believe that he is worth $90 million guaranteed and $30 million a year. I mean, I think that, and I don't believe he's worth it either. Cousins has done, not a whole hell of a lot in a big spot in his whole career. There's only been there's not been many games. He hasn't had many chances, but he has not responded in the big game. Green Bay wasn't great. The Giants in Carolina 2 years ago, he collapsed. This year they were bad. Now, he was good, but the team was lousy. He didn't really stand above and lead that team. So I think it's really a case of the Redskins just not feeling that he is worth the investment. So let's trade him. We'll get Smith here. Cost us a lot less, and we'll only have him for the 3 years. So, and I think the Redskins made the right call. Now, they also had to trade a defensive back to Kansas City. They gave up a fifth of, a nickel back, which, is a factor too. But I don't think there's any issues whatsoever with what the Redskins did. Mark in Maryland, Mad Dog Unleashed for him. Mark, good afternoon. How are you today? What do you have for me?
Hey, Chris, I'm sitting here watching the game and listening to you at the same time. So
that's a good sports fan.
That, right?
That's a good sports fan, Marky. Good job on your part.
So anyway, you're talking about this book with Tiger. I have this theory that sometimes as fans, the less we know about these guys, sometimes we're better off, especially more so in team sports, I think, because I never go to these fan fests or anything they have because, some of these guys blow you off or something.
Yeah, you don't. You don't want your heroes to, you want to feel good about your guys you root for. You don't want to know they're idiots. And if you go to these fan fests and all that, you see behavior that you don't like, and he might blow you off and ignore you and everything else. That's a problem. I get that.
Yeah, no, that's an issue. But, I know the thing with the Tiger Woods thing is going to be it's an interesting book. And, it kind of makes it hard it makes it a little bit harder to root for him now to come back after hearing some of the stuff.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's a good point. I will look at Tiger a lot differently next weekend.
You'd like to think maybe you could make this comeback and get another major or two in there, and but now you're gonna look at it with a different. I don't know what a grown man could do in somebody's house that would. You think he'd take extra caution and make sure nothing happened, and leave it the way it was. You know what I mean? It's just
not only that. Leave him a phone bill because Elin called up Sweden, and you don't sit there and put $100 on the counter so she knows that the phone call the bill is going to be calls. I mean, how out of it can you be? I mean you're worth about $9 billion.
Yeah.
I mean that is disrespectful. That's terrible behavior. There's no way around it. And Elin should know better too. I mean, Elin, I know she was a young kid, but Elin should say, honey, well, I just made a lot of calls to Sweden. You got to put a bill down there so we pay the poor woman the money. And she didn't do it either. So that doesn't make her look good as well. Keep that in mind. Go ahead.
So, it didn't take long for the baseball some bad manager decisions yesterday with, the Phillies and Boston.
Well, the Phillies, and good call, Mark. I can't get over that, the Phillies. Kapler, what he did, he killed the game. I know it's his first game. He gave him a little break. but you take Nola out after 68 pitches. You got a 5-0 lead to work with a lousy bullpen because you want to get everybody involved in the game. That's absurd. You do a shift on a light-hitting second baseman who bunts for a single. You don't start your center fielder, Herrera, who your team invested $30 million in because he's 5 for 30 lifetime against Tehran. I mean, I really poor. Just a terrible job. That would bother me. If I was a Philly fan, that would bother me. Here is Doug in Philly. Steve in Chicago, and he's on Mad Dog Unleashed. Steve, good afternoon. How are you today? What's going on?
Hey, Chris, how you doing? Chris, the other day
Stevie.
you were talking about the Cubs starting rotation, but when you brought up Kyle Hendricks, you said Kyle Hendricks is okay.
He's pretty good.
Blew my mind.
He's not great. He's pretty good.
Chris, today he makes his 100th start. His career ERA is 2.97.
Right.
The only pitcher in those 100 starts categories is Kershaw with a better ERA.
So in other words, then you think Hendricks is an ace?
I'm not, Chris. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that he's pitched in 100 starts. He has an under 3 ERA. The only pitcher with a better ERA is Clayton Kershaw. In 16, he was the ERA leader in all of baseball. He pitched Game 7 of the World Series, which he shouldn't have been taken out of. Last year in the playoffs, he pitched a 2-hitter against the Nationals, 7 innings. He's a big game pitcher. He's a great pitcher. I don't know.
No, he's not great. No, he's not great.
Chris,
he's
listen,
good. He's good. He's not great.
Your hatred for the Cubs is sometimes comical. When you say stuff like you said Hendricks is an okay pitcher,
let me ask you a question. Okay, if he's a great pitcher, then I think he's got to be top 5 or 6 in the National League. He's nowhere near that. He's barely top 15. He's not better than he's not better than Syndergaard. He's not better than DeGrom. He's not better than Scherzer. He's not better than Bumgarner. He's not better than Strasburg. He's not better than Kershaw. So those are 6 top of my head
Chris,
that he's not better than.
He's in the top. Listen, he's in the top 10, and half those guys that you mentioned right now, they don't take the mound, okay? There's always a problem with some of those guys. This guy is a good pitcher, man. For you to – we're not talking great. You said he was okay, okay? And, again, you were down on the Cubs starting pitching. Most people think they may have the best starting pitching. You didn't mention Quintana. A couple of bad performances by Darvish. You always blow it off. Every year you pick the Mets to win. You got no clue, man. I listen to you just to get a laugh. I mean, you don't call it the way it is. You don't like the Cubs, and it's comical, and I don't care that you don't like the Cubs, but when you start talking crazy and you start saying things like, this guy is okay, Lester's getting old.
Well, Lester, how did Lester pitch yesterday?
So, you know what? Couple balls up the middle. Schwarber let a ball go to the outfield. You know you ain't worried about Lester. Lester's going to be there when it counts. And when the Cubs are there again this year, you'll have another excuse. You'll pick against them, and I wish you do because you're never, ever right when you make predictions. And I love it. I love it, and I don't miss your show just for the funny part of it.
No, Steve, good call. You're crazy if you think Schwarber is the top 10 pitchers in the National League. That's not. I mean, not Schwarber. Hendricks. That's not fair. I just gave you 6, top of my head. I mean, he's not even better than Lester, so that's 7. I don't know how you can tell you he's the top 10 pitchers in the National League. And now, listen, I might underrate him a little bit. You might be fair. I will give you that. He pitched. We all know he pitched great to win the pennant that one year against the Dodgers in Game 6 with some pressure on him. He had a lot of runs to work with that night, but he was unhittable. I mean, I understand. I mean, there was a lot of things that you like about him. I don't look at him as automatic myself. What was his record last year, Eddie? Can we look at Schwarber? Can we look at Hendricks for a second? I got my little book out here. I'll take a look, too. Let's take a look at him last year. And let's look at him career-wise, if I may, and see where we stand with him from a standpoint of greatness is concerned. And let's look at I mean, and he didn't make a lot of – the guy was 7 wins and 5 losses. I mean, come on now. I mean – Kyle Hendricks was 7 wins and 5 losses. I mean, how many starts did he was obviously hurt. I'm trying to remember how he was injured.
24.
He had that index thing. Didn't he have that index thing all year long? Kyle Hendricks last year for the Cubbies was 139 innings pitched, 126 hits, 40 walks. He had a 3.03 ERA. He was 7-5. Now, hold on now. The year before, he was good. What was he the year before? He won 16 games?
16-8.
16-8. What was he the year before that?
8-7.
All right, so let me get this straight, Steve. Kyle Hendricks, so you kid me now that I don't know what I'm talking about. In the last 2 years, he's won 23 games. In the last 2 years. Right. He's won 23 ball games. Yeah, we're going to put him in the Hall of Fame. Now, come on now. That's not fair. I mean, let's do it right now. Let's look at the pitchers in the National League. See where he stacks up with these pitchers in the National League. All right. I'm not sure if he's better than Robbie Ray, who was last year 15-5 with a 2.89 ERA and a BAM box. I'm not sure, and I don't like Greinke, but I don't think he's better than Greinke. And I'm not a big Greinke fan. He is not better than Lester. He's better than anybody in the Reds or the Rockies. He's not better than Kershaw. He's probably better than Chase Anderson. He's not better than DeGrom. He's not better than Syndergaard. He's certainly not better than Strasburg or Scherzer. Is he better than Carlos Martinez? I mean, the Pirates don't have any pitching. He's better than Nola. The Padres have no pitching. He's not better than Bumgarner. He's about the eighth or ninth best pitcher in the league, in the National League. And then if I look at the American League, if I may, and we'll see where he racks up in the American League.
Do you think? I don't even know if he's top 8. To be honest with you.
Well,
all right. Let's go. He's Kershaw, no. Scherzer, no.
2.
Strasburg, no.
3.
Syndergaard, no.
4.
DeGrom, no.
5.
Greinke, no.
6.
Darvish, no.
No, Darvish.
Well, you're going to put him ahead of Darvish right now?
I'm not a big Darvish fan. Let's leave him alone. Go ahead.
Right.
That's 6.
Robbie Ray, I would say no.
Bumgarner's 7.
Right. Carlos Martinez, you put him ahead of him?
It's close. It's close. So you agree with me on Hendricks then?
He's good. He's not upper echelon good.
Right. American League. Let's look at the best pitchers in the American League. Severino, Verlander, Keuchel is 3. Obviously Sale 4. You want to put Price in there? Guess you have to.
I probably do, yeah.
6. You want to put Tanaka in there?
Oh, did you already mention Severino?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I probably would. Yeah.
Yeah, he's probably somewhere between 18 and 22.
Is he better than Carrasco?
No, absolutely not.
Right. Is he better than Keuchel?
No, he's not better than Kluber either.
Right.
He's somewhere between 20 and 25.
Yeah, he's good. He's a good pitcher.
Good pitcher. Yeah. I don't like the Cub pitching.
But what was the main complaint? I was like coming downstairs.
Main complaint is I rip the Cubs. I don't give Hendricks enough credit. He's a great pitcher. The Tigers just beat Pittsburgh. He's a great pitcher. They have a very good staff. Lester, Darvish, Quintana. The Cubs are going to go out there and win another championship.
Well, I actually think the Cubs are going to have a great year. But yeah. Well, I thought that guy was a little hard on you.
A little hard. And what the hell? I can live 5:30. Let's see. Looks like the Pirates. That's a rough loss for the Italian food in Detroit tonight. For her to will not be tasty. That's a rough loss.
They had a 10-6 lead and they coughed it up. That's kind of be Jacoby Jones with the game-winning hit there. Pinch hit
he's
for
safe.
the Tigers.
Yeah, that's a bad. What's going on in the Nationals-Reds game?
Well, Max Scherzer has 9 strikeouts through the first 4 innings, and it is 1-0 Nats.
He is listen, I don't love him in the postseason sometimes because he's out of that game pretty quick. But I'm not. Got to be fair. He's a hell of a pitcher. He's going to the Hall of Fame.
He is really good.
You think he's the best pitcher in baseball?
I put him in the top 2 or 3.
He's good. Top 2 or 3, huh?
Yeah, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you think he's better than Verlander in a big game?
Well, no. Not yet, based on past history. But he's got. Let's put it. He's top 5 pitcher in baseball. That's safe. That's safe.
Absolutely, top 5, 100% right. Top 5.
Yeah.
And Hendricks is somewhere between 18 and 22.
Yeah, around there. He's good. He's a good pitcher. Or as you would say, nice pitcher. just to irritate people.
Yeah, I love to say that. Steve's getting ready. What time you go to church on Sunday morning, Steve?
Oh, I've already gone to church several times already.
You have? Yeah. Morty Thursday and Good Friday and all those kinds of things?
That's right.
Very good.
Passover, I'll do it all.
Oh, you got Passover?
Yeah, I got everything. I'll do it all.
Harvey, is Harvey in, by the way?
No.
Harvey is not in, all right? How's Danny Cannell going?
Danny's great.
Have you picked up his baseball acumen?
This is going to be a daily theme for you now.
Yes.
Yeah. Danny's on top of
the baseball?
Yeah, I think he is.
Does he know who?
Well, you always complain about how our staff is not good with the golf. I think Danny will be quite good in that area.
He will be good.
Oh, yeah.
Well, he's a good player, so he's a good athlete there.
He's a great athlete. Jeez.
He's okay. He's not great. He's okay.
Guy paid professionally in 2 sports. That's better than you and I will ever smell, taste, or come close to in our lives.
What was the other sport he got paid professionally for?
Baseball. You know, it was the independent Newark Bears.
Come on, Steve.
Oh, he was drafted out of high school.
No.
Hey,
a lot of guys were drafted.
That's
a lot of guys were drafted out of high school. Stop. That's not fair.
I'm just saying that is a professional team. He was
a
paid.
marginal quarterback.
Boy, that's a little rough.
Yeah, you disagree?
Marginal? I'd say he led his team to a division title. Come on.
You think he's better than marginal?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
You think he's better than marginal, Stevie?
The sad part is he didn't even like football, he said.
Yeah, he actually liked playing baseball more.
Yeah, I heard you guys say that. Yes, indeed. So he's on top of the baseball.
He's got like a 4 handicap. Guy does everything. It's like ridiculous.
Right, very good.
Yeah.
They say they got a 4 handicap, and then you put a little pressure on him, and his 76 has become 83.
He seems like the type of guy that would lie.
Wait,
you got to invite him up to your palace.
I will do that. I will take him to Shorehaven. You'll see for sure how he'll smoke you. We'll really see at Shorehaven. As long as he doesn't bring a cell phone, and look for the
That's
scores.
right, Yankees Twins, a matinee that day.
It's the Sports Fight with Steve here on Mad Dog.